is up, Sneeples? We are going to be going over the UPF of heavy hitters, a whole new draft format. Let's get into it, but first, do you like this shirt? Well, you can get them at fleshandbaubles.com. You can even use our promo code SNEEP for 15% off your entire order. They got shirts, they got keychains, and they got more to come. So check them out, fleshandbaubles.com. Let's get back to the video. Alright, so UPF is going to be where you are going to draft in a normal pod of 8, but then once draft is over, you're going to be split up into 2 groups of 4, each of those groups playing a UPF game. Then, once each UPF game is over, the winner of those 2 UPF groups are going to face each other for the final match on 1v1 to see the winner of the draft. And that is UPF. That is the craziest in store. So let's talk about some cards that we can pick up in UPF to have some fun, but maybe even win that pod as well. So let's get to it. First off, the one that stands out the most is the cards that get better for how many more opponents you have that have higher life than you. These are the armor equipments that block. You got every piece of armor there is out there for you. These are great UPF value armor, and I would highly suggest picking them up as soon as you see them for UPF. Now, there is some other generic cards too that can work better. Stuff like Adrenaline Rush. This is a card that gets better if only one of your opponents has higher life. Well, there's a fairly good chance if you're in a group of 4 that at least one of them is going to have a higher life than you, and so therefore you can get that added bonus. Another card is Down But Not Out. Not only is this card a bomb in a competitive draft, but this is a bomb in UPF draft, because more than likely at least one of your neighbors that you can attack will meet these conditions, and so therefore Down But Not Out may be a little bit easier to play. Now let's get into the classes, on what cards you can draft for these classes, but really more of how to play into UPF as each of these classes. So we'll start with the Brutes, and I'm going to just go ahead and tell you, Brutes are just going to do Brute things. They're not really going to be doing this UPF stuff. They're just going to pound their chest and come at you, and that's okay because we need Brutes as allies. And so if you're going to be playing Brute, you're probably going to get your neighbors trying to make deals with you in order to keep you on their side, because let's face it, you are the heavy hitter, so they're going to want to keep you as a friend. So that is kind of the advantage and the play pattern you can work with Brute. Try to have it where, you know, showcase the power you can bring to make some friends. Next up is Guardian. Now Guardian actually has a few cards that I like a little bit better in UPF than in regular draft, and one is Stacked in Your Favor. The reason why I like Stacked in Your Favor is because if you play this card, it basically says, hey, don't attack me. It's not even worth it. I can probably just go ahead and block out your attack, so why even waste your attack on me? And that's exactly what we want out of this. If we can deter our opponents from attacking us, then they will attack their other neighbor, and we get to just keep staying alive. The other card I really like is Big Bop and Bigger Than Big. And the reason why I like these cards is you can just go ahead and place that card down, and then your neighbors will know you got a big attack coming. Basically, if they don't want that coming their way, then they need to not come your way. And that's what Guardian is about. But Betsy, she could do a little bit more, just a little bit more tactician here, in that if your neighbor has less cards in their hand because they had to defend from another attack, then your wager cards have a higher chance of hitting. And with Betsy, that means you don't even need to do your ability to get that wager attack in. I guess this works with every hero, but you know, Betsy likes to wage. And so that's something you can consider, going after your opponent that has less cards in hand, because you know your wager will hit. And that also goes for Olympia. Of course, you want to do it with Olympia, get your gold tokens, and get rich. The other thing Olympia can do is he can have his sword. And that is kind of where Warriors can be the most fair class when it comes to UPF, because Kasai and Olympia swords, you can come at one opponent with one sword, come at the other one with the other sword, or wager attack, and you're kind of splitting damage fairly. So you are the quote-unquote fair class of UPF, and therefore there's no reason that they should target you over anyone else, or anything like that, right? You're just being fair. But ultimately, UPF is just, playing with your buddies. So you're really gonna have to read the room, connive a little bit, make alliances, break alliances, all sorts of fun that comes with it. And with that, you should draft for it, right? This isn't super competitive, so draft cards that you will never have drafted in a competitive sense. Cards like Talk a Big Game. Why not? Why not just get fun with that card? As well as like Trade Secrets. These are cards that you can just go ahead, draft, have a lot of fun with, and see where they take you. If you were able to win it and you are going against, the winner of the other pod, all you would have to do is maybe cut a few cards that are a little too cute for 1v1, a little too goofy, and just send it their way. And hopefully you can take the whole thing. But ultimately, the goal here is to have fun with UPF draft and draft with your buddies. So go out and enjoy that. That is my guide for UPF draft. So thank you for watching. Keep on fabbing. Catch you on the next one.